Your friends are lying to you right now. Your family is lying to you. Even strangers are lying to you. And the worst part? You're lying to them too. But nobody's doing it to be mean. They're doing it to be nice, and it's completely messing up your life. Think about the last time someone asked you for feedback. Maybe they showed you their new haircut, their cooking, or something they created. Did you tell them the truth? Or did you say it was great, even though you didn't really think so? Yeah, you lied. Not because you're a bad person, but because you didn't want to hurt their feelings. This happens every single day, in every conversation, and it's called courtesy bias. And once you see it, you'll realize how much it's been controlling your decisions without you even knowing. So, what is courtesy bias? It's when people tell you what they think you want to hear instead of what they actually believe. They're being polite, they're being nice, but they're not being honest. And this creates a massive problem because you end up making decisions based on fake information. Here's how this plays out in real life. Let's say you start a business. You're excited. You tell your friends and family about your idea. You ask them what they think. And what do they say? They tell you it's amazing. They say you're going to crush it. They encourage you to go for it. But here's the thing. They might not actually believe that. They might think your idea is terrible. They might think you're going to fail. But they won't tell you that because they don't want to hurt you. So you move forward with confidence, thinking everyone supports you, when in reality, they were just being polite. Or think about this. You're on a date. Things are going okay, you think. At the end, you ask if they want to hang out again. They smile and say, "Yeah, definitely. Let me check my schedule." You leave feeling good. But then they never text you. They ghost you. Why? Because they didn't want to reject you to your face. They gave you a polite answer to avoid the awkward moment. That's courtesy bias. This shows up everywhere. You ask your coworker if they like your presentation. They say yes, even though they thought it was boring. You ask your partner if your outfit looks good. They say it looks great, even if it doesn't. You ask someone if they want to come to your party. They say maybe, even though they already know they're not coming. People are constantly giving you polite answers instead of real answers. And here's why this is such a big problem. You can't improve if nobody tells you the truth. You can't fix your mistakes if everyone pretends they don't exist. You end up living in this bubble where you think everything you do is perfect, but in reality, people are just too nice to tell you otherwise. Let's talk about online reviews for a second. Have you ever noticed that small businesses, especially local ones run by people you might meet in person, tend to have really high ratings, like everything is 4 or 5 stars? Part of that is courtesy bias. People don't want to leave a bad review because they feel guilty. They met the owner. The owner was nice to them. So even if the food was just okay or the service was slow, they leave a good review anyway. They think, well, I don't want to hurt their business. But now, other people see those reviews, try the place, and wonder why everyone said it was so good. The same thing happens with surveys. Companies send out surveys asking customers what they think. But people don't want to sound mean, so they rate things higher than they actually feel. A company might think their product is doing great based on survey results, but in reality, people are just being polite. Then the company doesn't make improvements. Sales drop, and they have no idea why. This even affects your personal growth. Let's say you're learning a new skill. Maybe you're learning to play guitar, or you're trying to get better at public speaking. You perform in front of people and ask for feedback. They clap, they smile. They tell you that you did great, but you didn't. You made mistakes. You weren't that good yet. But nobody wants to discourage you, so they lie. Now you think you're better than you are and you stop practicing as hard. Your growth slows down because you're getting false feedback. The tricky part about courtesy bias is that it comes from a good place. People aren't trying to manipulate you. They're trying to protect your feelings. They care about you, so they don't want to say something that might upset you. But this kindness actually does more harm than good in the long run. So why do people do this? Why can't we just be honest with each other? Well, it's because honesty is uncomfortable. Telling someone the truth, especially if it's negative, creates tension. It makes things awkward. Most people will do anything to avoid awkwardness, even if it means lying. Think about it from their perspective. If someone asks you, "Do you like my new car?" and you think it's ugly, what are you supposed to say? If you tell the truth, you risk hurting their feelings, starting an argument, or damaging the relationship. But if you lie and say, "Yeah, it looks nice," everyone stays happy. The conversation moves on. No drama. So you lie. And they do the same thing to you. This gets even more complicated when there's a power dynamic involved. If your boss asks you what you think about their idea, are you really going to tell them it's bad? Probably not. You need that job. You don't want to make them upset, so you agree with them, even if you think they're completely wrong. The same thing happens with teachers, parents, or anyone who has some kind of authority over you. You give them the polite answer because the honest answer feels too risky. But courtesy bias doesn't just affect your relationships with other people. It affects your relationship with yourself, too. When everyone around you is being polite instead of honest, you start to lose touch with reality. You think you're doing better than you actually are. You get overconfident. Or sometimes, if you suspect people are lying to you, you become paranoid and don't trust anyone. Either way, you can't get an accurate picture of where you stand. And here's something interesting. Courtesy bias gets stronger the closer you are to someone. Strangers might be more honest with you because they don't care as much about hurting your feelings. But your best friend, your family, the people who love you the most, they're the ones most likely to lie to you because they care too much. They don't want to see you upset, so they protect you from the truth, even when the truth is exactly what you need to hear. So, what do you do about this? How do you get honest feedback when everyone's default setting is to be polite? First, you need to make it safe for people to be honest with you. Don't just ask, "What do you think?" Ask specific questions. Say, "What's one thing I could improve?" Or, "If you had to change something, what would it be?" This gives people permission to be critical without feeling like they're attacking you. Second, pay attention to what people don't say. If someone gives you vague praise like, "It's nice," or "It's interesting," that's usually a red flag. Real enthusiasm sounds different. It's specific. It's detailed. If someone actually loves something, they'll tell you exactly why. Vague compliments often mean they're just being polite. Third, look for patterns. If one person avoids giving you real feedback, fine. But if everyone is doing it, that tells you something. If multiple people give you the same vague response, they're probably all thinking the same thing, but not saying it. And finally, you need to be honest with others too. Break the cycle. When someone asks for your opinion, give them a real answer. Be kind about it, but be truthful. Show them that honest feedback doesn't have to be mean. It can be helpful. Look, courtesy bias is one of those things that seems harmless on the surface. People are just being nice, right? What's wrong with that? But when everyone around you is being too nice, you end up disconnected from reality. You make bad decisions based on fake feedback. You miss opportunities to improve because nobody tells you what you're doing wrong. The truth is, real kindness isn't always about making someone feel good in the moment. Sometimes it's about telling them what they need to hear, even if it's uncomfortable. And real growth doesn't come from being surrounded by yes men. It comes from people who care enough to be honest with you. So the next time someone asks for your opinion, think about what you're going to say. Are you going to give them the polite answer or the real answer? And when you ask someone for feedback, make it clear that you actually want the truth. Because a comfortable lie might feel better right now, but an uncomfortable truth will help you a lot more in the long run. If this made you realize how often people lie to you, subscribe for more.